We're live. Greetings and salutations. Get the chat right. Show live chat. Alright. I need my glasses. Ooh, you're dirty. I see 4 people. Ooh. Y'all tell me if the music's too loud. If you hear the music over me, that's not good. Hello, Deck Boy TV. How are you tonight? Good evening. Aisha has returned. And Marlene Lopez, hello. I thank you for your recent order, honey. It's getting shipped out tomorrow. Oh, and the doggy gotta get all in the camera as always. Oh. Hello, DJ. The music is fine. All right. Yeah. Oh. Y'all? Hello, Boris has joined us again. How are we doing tonight? I just ran up from the cellar, so I'm still in my whites to get this video in tonight. Hello, Michael. Hello, Brooke has joined us again. How's everybody doing tonight? Pine tar soap. I should have it by tomorrow. Oh, you sent me some? Damn, girl, awesome. Thank you. I can't wait to try that. And the music's alright. It seems loud to me, but if you guys can hear me, then that's okay. Us and Them is back. Hello, Maharet. Good evening, everyone. Did everyone have a good weekend? Mama sure had a good weekend. Mama had a kick-ass fucking weekend. The best fucking weekend. This weekend couldn't have went off more fucking perfect, and now I gotta hold up my end of the deal. I got places to go this week. Offerings to make. Mama is off the soda, y'all. We're doing infused water, and I feel so much better. Okay, you know, there was one thing I wanted to say. I was going to do a separate video, but I was like, I'll just wait till the live. I seen a post in a group, y'all. This guy was telling people to put bathrooms in their altars in their bathrooms and in their bedrooms. Don't do that shit. Okay, I want to take a poll. Hello, Nothingness Chronicles has joined us again. I want a poll. Everybody say I. If you can, or just give me a name of one spirit that you think would like to reside in a filthy, nasty bathroom. Anybody got a name? Mama can't think of a fucking name. What spirit would want to stay in a filthy bathroom and have that be their home? I'm really curious. Why is he telling people to do this shit? I went to fuck off, y'all. I was like, don't fucking tell people to do this shit. What are you trying to do? Like, deliberately fuck people up? That's some fucked up shit. Hello, Margarita Sage. How are you this evening? I know, you know what I thought of? Like, has anybody seen Dogma? Like, the toilet demon? The toilet shit demon that came out in Dogma? That's the only thing I could think of that would want to live in a nasty-ass fucking bathroom. And then on the same post, he's telling people to put them in their bedrooms. He's like, put romantic and romance and love, you know, to love deities or whatever, those go in your bedroom. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? What are you trying to do to people? Are you in here trying to, like, just fuck people up, because that's what you're doing. Tell me it's a joke. Tell me you're kidding. Tell me this is all a joke and I'll be fine. Hello, Papa Bear has finally made it to a live. Awesome. Mr. Hanky. The Christmas food. Just saw this last week, huh? Dogma was hilarious. Yeah, I love that movie. That is a great movie. First time, Sonia Soto. Welcome. Glad to have y'all here. Who has questions? I got the shit off of my chest I wanted to talk about. I made a post in the groups. I don't know if y'all see it. That seems really loud to me, guys. Is the music too loud? Can you hear me? Or, like, is the music drowning me out? Well, I'm asking them, because the speakers are different. Tell me if I should turn the music down. Can you hear me? Anybody? Nobody? Anybody gonna answer me? I'm good? Okay. I'll take y'all's word for it, because it just seems loud to me. It is a little loud. Okay. Let me just turn it down, like, one notch. That seems a little better to me. I made a post in the groups this week. I made a meme, and because I've seen a trend. I've seen a big trend of people in these groups asking for simple. They, like, every post is like, give me something simple and fast that I can do for this, or, you know, hello, Kayla. Simple. Why y'all think it's simple? Why people think true, especially pertaining to hoodoo, that simple works always work the best, but it's still not simple. Okay, it's work, y'all. How many times I gotta say this shit? Work is work. It's called work for a reason, because it's not easy. This shit takes a toll on you. I'm gonna tell you, y'all, especially when you're healing people, it takes a toll. Am I drunk? Kayla, honey, this must be your first time here. I don't drink. What was I saying? Healing takes a toll on when you're doing work for people, when you're doing work for yourself, when you're doing work, period. It takes a toll. It affects you physically, like a lot. Spirits affect you physically. I made a gree for a client a week or so ago. She had hormone imbalances. Okay, so this is the gree was specifically made for her to heal this hormone imbalance that she had. And right after she got it, she immediately got better. And she was like, I forgot I was fucking sick, because this just made me so much better. She got well, but what happened is my hormones went off balance for like 2 weeks. My shit was all out of whack because I gave her that energy to heal her fucking imbalance. So my shit went out of whack. This shit fucks you up, y'all. It is called work for a damn reason. Don't think it's easy. Even if something's simple, it's not going to be easy, and it's going to take a toll. I just wanted to put that out there. Let me get to some questions. I pronounced your name way wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at names, honey. Everybody kind of knows this. Okay, let me see if I can pronounce it right. Kaylay Turner. Did I say it right now? The messages are scrolling, and I'm just, catching stuff, so I probably pronounced the name wrong. Rank noob here. My altar is in an alcove of my bedroom separated by curtains. Is this enough of a separation? Or do I need something more substantial? I mean, it would do for now until you have something more substantial. I actually had, I have my spirits in the cellar, because the cellar floods, right? So I'm just giving y'all an example of separation. These spirits shouldn't be, like, pretty close. They need to be separate. But the cellar floods, so I kind of have everything on a raised, like, level platform, right? It's like 3 inches off the ground, just so if it floods, the water can go underneath, the platform, and it doesn't mess with my shit. But these two shouldn't be that close to each other, so I wound up rigging something with, like, a board I just like kind of plopped a board in between them until I found something better. I found like a really nice, beautiful, ornate like divider thing that I put. Now that separates them and that makes it, and it's taller. You know, the board was short and they could still kind of see over it and everything. So curtains in a bedroom for separation would do temporarily, but I would definitely try and, you know, find a better solution for that. But for a temporary thing, it's kind of okay. But yeah, if anything, try and put them in the closet. And if you got to have it in the bedroom, put it in the closet so you can shut the door, and that's like a total wall of separation. The work is difficult. That's why it's called work. Ah, real talk, girl. If you're just going through the motions, then it is simple. It's easy to put shit together, but that's not all there is to it. Abso-fucking-lutely, honey. Real talk. Do I astral travel, and do you have a place you created on the astral plane? I actually had... I mean, I've been told that I do. Sometimes I remember it, sometimes I don't. Do I have a place I created on the astral plane? No. And when I do it, it's accidental. It's like I can't will myself. I'm working on that. I've actually been given a lot of things on like how to control it more, because people can attack you on your astralscape. They really can, and they can send shit to attack you on astralscape. So you really need to become adept at getting yourself on and off the plane by yourself, by your will. So I've really been working on that so far. But I have techniques that I've been told will help, and that's what I've been working on. But I can't do it willingly as of yet. Hello, Amethyst Moon is so glad she got off work in time. Yay! Any suggestions for working with tainted love oil? Have the target's personal concerns. Alright, the tainted love oil is, I mean, you can pretty much work it like any other oil. You can do candle work with it. If you have the personal concerns, maybe do a poppet and dress it with the oil. You can wear the oil when you're around your target, you know. You can wear it to bring that attraction in. It's pretty much the same as any other oil. You could work it, you know, the same kind of way as any other basic oil. Wait a minute, let me skip this freaking commercial, y'all.
Tires Plus stays open through the evening.
Tires Plus. I don't need no Tires Plus shit. Why do people give Florida water as an offering to the ancestors? My ancestor, let me try and address that without going into my personal shit too much. Florida water is considered a purifier, a cleanser. A lot of people substitute holy water for Florida water. So clean and pure spirits like that. It also helps keep your altars and spirit areas purified and cleansed, so like invaders don't really want to, you know, come in there. My ancestors vary. I have a couple different waters that they like, and my ancestor altar is kind of set up like a Boveda, sorta, as where they have their glasses, but then I have a large glass in the center. Now, I don't put cologne waters in their glasses, but I always put it in the large glass in the center, and they'll vary. They either want Florida water, Kananga water, sometimes they want tobacco water, but they'll tell me, you know, every week when I change it out what kind of fragrance and water they want this week. Deck Boy knows what I mean. Justify won the Derby. Yes! I told my husband that. I was like, I seen that and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, if I would have went to that Derby, you know damn well that's the horse I would have bet on, and I would have fucking won. I was like tickled pink when I saw that shit. Hilarious. How do you get something off if you're hexed? Weird shit between having had dead birds in my yard, weird smells, bad luck in general. I love animals and don't understand the dead birds. Hello, Denise, the Wandering Artist. Dead birds are actually a sign. They are a sign. So this will explain your dead birds. They are a sign of someone throwing work at you. That is a very good indicator. Birds are also messengers. But yeah, I know someone who when someone throws at this person, birds always hit her windows and like die and break their necks and shit. And it's like a very good significant indicator that someone is throwing work at you because birds are messengers. I actually had believe it or not, I had a Baltimore Oriole out here in the Midwest. I've never seen one. I've never seen a Baltimore Oriole like ever. Even on the East Coast, I didn't see one. But I had one show up out here, and he was in my window, like trying to get in my house, and it was crazy. Like I kept hearing the noise, right? And I thought my wind chimes were hitting the window because it happens sometimes. But it kept going on and on, like for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this noise? I got up and looked, and there was a Baltimore Oriole in the window, like crazy flapping and like pecking at it and like going crazy. And I'm like, whoa, this is really weird. And of course I went through, we always got to try and debunk shit before we automatically go, oh my god, it's a spirit, or this, or it means that. I always try to debunk shit first. So I went through the rounds, oh, maybe he saw his reflection in the window. But then I looked at the window and it's like fucking filthy. I haven't cleaned my windows this spring, and it's got dog slobber and nose prints and dirt, and I'm like, I highly doubt that was his reflection. So I actually, I went down, I did divination on it, and it was a message. The bird was a messenger bringing me a message. So birds are very highly messengers. So let me address the question of how you get it off. Weird smells, bad luck, and dead birds are all high indicators that someone is throwing work at you. It's not a definite though. I would suggest a reading. If you don't want to do a reading, then you need to do a lot of work. You're going to need to do an uncrossing bath. You're going to need to make an uncrossing floor wash, or just buy some from my shop and clean your whole fucking house. I'm talking doors, windows, door jambs, walls, cabinets, like everything. You gotta clean every fucking thing with like an uncrossing, cleansing floor wash. You can also use camphor, burn camphor in your house. That runs off any caca spirits. They hate it. They run. You can wash your door with a mixture of like pine sol with a little bit of turpentine, a little bit, like a capful. Okay, you don't want to strip the paint on your door. A little bit of pine sol, hot water, turpentine. Wash your door inside and out, screen door, every door. Wash them down with that. You could also use Cresolina to clean with and do your doors and stuff with, to run that shit out. It's going to take a lot of work. This is what I would do. Do all that, and if you're still feeling like you got some caca on you, you're going to need to get a reading and see what kind of work needs to be done to get rid of that. Nothingness Chronicles. Yikes, I had dead birds and bats hitting my house before. It was someone I knew doing work, so I sent it back. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's a very good indicator that someone's throwing work at you. There is more there, but I don't want to get into it, right? Happy Beltane. That was like a couple days ago, right? Tonight, a raccoon curled up. What are y'all doing? My dog's mauling my cat. Tonight, a raccoon curled up just under my goddess statue. I know there is a message there, but I'm not sure what. He's still laying there. Oh, that's cool. I personally hate the coons. I hate the coons. They fuck my shit. They break my shit. They steal all my... You know, I put suet blocks out, and well, I had one come... And I had this shit on poles. I got hummingbird feeder and like suet blocks and like all this stuff. He bent my pole to the damn ground and busted the hummingbird feeder, like shattered it. I had to get a new one. He got the other pole somehow, got the basket of suet off of it and opened it up with their little hand, took the whole suet block. He was here fucking with my shit like every day for like a month. And I got so tired of it, I actually put some poison out. It was costing me money, y'all. I put some poison out, and I never heard from him again. Wow, exactly. Thanks for the info. How do I fix it? I hope I already answered that for you. I know that song. I love it, but I forget what it's called. 907? This one is The Noose by A Perfect Circle. My raccoon... Oh, y'all are always asking me about my music. I think I have my playlist public. I think. You can go on my channel and go to the playlist, and like these music playlists are like... They should be on there public for everyone, so you can access, you know, and know what the music is that's, you know, going on and stuff. My cup's in the camera. What the hell's that? Gotcha, thanks so much. I'm on it. Can't talk to just anyone about this. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, do all that. If you're still having issues, you're going to need a reading because that's a major caca. You know, without a reading, you can't exactly diagnose what exactly needs to be done, but I'm giving you general things that can be done when work's being thrown, you know, your way to remedy that situation. But if it's like super strong caca, if it's like an actual kind of morto or something, it might not work. So if you don't see movement after you do all that shit, get a reading to see exactly what you got to do to get rid of it. Don't poison them, they move and go. This one did not move and go, girl. He hung out. He was fucking my shit like every damn night. For like a month. I was like, I'm done. Can you talk about crowning the dead? Why is this? And why do folks do it? Girl, you always got the best questions. You stumped me. Crowning the dead. That's not a term I'm familiar with. I know what crowning is. And to crown someone, but I've never actually heard someone being crowned with a mortal, a dead. It's done with Orisha, and that's usually an Orisha tradition thing where you get crowned. But I've never actually heard it being done with a mortal. What is crowning then? Crowning, it's like I said, it's usually done in Orisha traditions, and it's when you go, it's a ceremony, and like a reading and a ceremony is done to get crowned. And this is where they do a reading and they find out who your head Orisha is, who owns your head, and then there's a ceremony done to bring that Orisha like into your head, and then you're considered crowned with that spirit. A little bit of that goes on in voodoo as well, where you have like a head. Excuse me, I need a drink. In voodoo as well, you have like a head spirit that owns your head, and that's called a mettet. But they do kanzas and that to see who that would be, but I don't think they actually do crowning in voodoo. But that's what it is. This hasn't happened to me before, but what if someone buries a trick in your yard? How would you get that stuff off of you? Um, that's a hard one. When someone buries something in your yard, you goddamn better well know where it's at. If it's in your damn property, you better find it. You better dig that shit up and get the fuck rid of it. It's very rare nowadays that actually happens, where somebody buries something on your property, because most of nowadays your enemies, 90% of your enemies are like on social media, or in virtual land, and they're not like really close to you or know where you live, or like any of that kind of stuff. So the burying in the yard does not happen very often nowadays. But yeah, back in the day when that shit happened a lot, you better find it. You better find out where it's at. You better dig it up. Dowsing rods were used a lot for that. The rods, to find, where somebody had buried something on your property is a good way to find it. I've heard some people equate the Western Holy Guardian Angel to the head spirit Metet. Do you think any spirit could be crowned to the practitioner? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. We all have a court. We all have spirit guides. And we have different main ones. We have like a main ancestor. We have a main spirit that's not an ancestor, that's just part of our court. And then if we initiate into traditions, other like main spirit. So I don't think any spirit could be your main spirit, and it doesn't just like I said, crowning really only happens in Orisha traditions where they own your head. And that's a whole ceremony, to make that happen. I think folks are living crown their dead in some traditions. I just heard someone talking about it and never heard about it before. I've never heard about it before either. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's fuckeria. I've never heard of it in any traditions, and I've studied a lot of them. I've never heard of dead and morto being crowned on someone. Never heard of it. Water witches in the Appalachia, abso-fucking-lutely. Dowsing, I love rods. But rods are good for way more than just water. Y'all know that, right? You can do all kinds of shit with rods. Have you ever used love rice? I was thinking about making some. I haven't. I do make the money rice, and that is a traditional element in Conjure. This love rice thing is like a new invention, so I'm not quite sure about it. I've never used it, and I don't do love work for people, so I may see, and I don't even make it. I don't even think I would make it, because, like I said, that's a new invention. That's not old school. That's not Conjure that I've ever heard of. But the money rice that's been around, for hundreds of years. How do you find your spirit? Fuckeria is my new favorite word. How do you find your spirit? It depends on what spirit you want to find. Reading, period. A reading finds your spirit. But depending on the spirit you want to find is the kind of reading you're going to need, because they're different. So it depends on which spirit you're wanting to, figure out things about. If you want to figure things out about your court, that's one reading. If you want to figure things out about your ancestors, that's another reading. If you're in a tradition, and you want to find out about your spirits, in that system that you're initiated into, that's a different kind of reading. So it depends on what kind of spirits that you're wanting to find out about. Hello, Spirit of the Witch. You're late. But at least you made it. And Ancient Visions, you're late too. lemongrass and Florida. I would actually use lemongrass oil, but I wouldn't put the actual herb. And I have 2 recipes for Florida water actually that are really good, and one actually calls for straight up herbs to be infused in it, and the other is made with all oils. I went the route with all oils, just because it's cleaner. It's more pure and it's cleaner to do it that way. I mean, I was contemplating making the one with the herbs in it and then, straining them out before I would use it or offer it to people. But lemongrass oil, because lemon oil is an ingredient in Florida water, if you guys didn't know that. So lemongrass oil could definitely be substituted for lemon oil. What is your take on using joss paper and banknotes? They're good for some things. Now that is actually an Asian custom with the joss paper and the hell notes. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. If you have Asians in your ancestry, then I would say definitely go for it. As far as I'm aware, like I said many times, I haven't done my DNA yet. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think I have any Asians in my ancestry, and I really only have 2 in my court, which isn't a lot. But for some reason, my ancestors do enjoy burning the hell notes for them. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. So I would ask your ancestors about that. If that's something you're leaning towards, you feel drawn to, speak to them about it and see if they want it. The joss paper is also good for work and not necessarily for offerings. But let's say you're doing a money work. You can slap, a joss $100 bill or something on your candle. I do a work called Big Bucks Benjamin. It's one of my notorious works, and a lot of people have stolen it and copied it. Another reason why I'm not posting pictures of my work anymore. A lot of people, as soon as I started doing that Big Bucks Benjamin, now everyone's putting joss money on their fucking money candles, and nobody was doing that before I was, showed people that shit. But you can use it in works like that. I've used them as petitions, especially if I'm doing money work. I'll write the petition on the joss money paper, and I'll, work with it and stuff. So it does, it does have its advantages in certain things, yeah. But as far as ancestors go, I would ask them. Simple as that. Can you make your own sigil for a spirit? How is this different from a petition? Yes, you can. There are workers that's all they do. They make sigils for everything. I know a very good worker. I call him the Merlin. He's the Merlin. He's really good at the ceremonial high magic stuff, which is not my field, not my forte. I don't understand a quarter of what he does, but it definitely fucking works. Everything he does, he creates sigils for. So yeah, you can definitely do that if that's your thing. Mama's Florida water is the best. Did you get some, girl? I sent out so many. I gotta make more, y'all. I'm almost out, and I got more orders I gotta fill tonight. I got 4 orders that gotta go out tomorrow, and I think every single one of them has Florida water in it. I think I'm gonna be out after I fill these orders tonight. I gotta make some more. How often do you feed your dead regular food? No salt on food for the dead, right? Yeah, I don't put salt in anything I serve to my ancestors. How often do you feed them regular? If you're talking regular food, like cooking a meal for them, see how that varies with the spirits. With the ancestors, I generally see, my grandmother raised me, so when I cook, she taught me how to cook, and I cook a lot with her, recipes and stuff. So if I cook something that was her shit, and it was you know, my grandparents before that owned a restaurant. My great grandmother, and she was like a wonderful cook, and like this shit's been passed down. So when I cook something that's like a big time family recipe, I make sure they get a plate, and they always get the first plate. Now, that's important. When you cook something and you want to share it with your spirits, they get the first serving, and no salt, definitely. Now, when it comes to fruit and that kind of stuff, I generally sometimes I replace it, you know, when it goes bad, and I like to keep stuff there all the time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes some spirits I just, you know, I have pacts with, and we make deals, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you this, you do this, and so, you know, then they'll get, you know, a meal cooked or whatever the deal, you know, was for. You know about that money rice? Absolutely, it's good shit. Hello, Janine Pesantes? I think you were here before, and I had an issue saying your name, if I'm not mistaken. Do you prefer working with standalone candles or glass encased candles? It depends on the work. It really does. Some things you want them to be really quick. Some things you need to work longer. So it really, I work with both. So it really depends on the work and what spirit tells me I need to do, you know, for this and to remedy, you know, it depends. It just depends on the work. I use both. And I use different kinds of standalone candles too. I use the 4-inch chimes, I use the 6-inch chimes for certain things. And then of course I 7-day candles always, especially for spirits, always. Can somebody do a hoodoo working with faith in God and the ancestors with prayers instead of working with energy and new age stuff? Sorry, I don't know how old time workers done things. Well, you're right on the money. I mean, hoodoo is 100% about faith in God and using psalms and working with ancestors. It's very Catholic, Catholicism and Christianity steeped in hoodoo. So you're right on the money with that. Absolutely. I'd love to know what record keeping looks like in your personal practice. It looks like a big ass file cabinet. A big ass file cabinet with lots of files, and then I have shit scribbled, you know. I have books and, you know, journals, and sometimes shit just comes to me. I just got to scribble it on this piece of paper that's right in front of me, and then it goes in a file, or I'll just stick it in one of my books, or. But it is organized. It is. I know exactly where everything is. Even my jars, you know, I have so many, but I pretty much know what I got and exactly where it should be. And as far as like record keeping, every client that I have has their own file. Well, not clients in the shop. Let me rephrase that. Not clients that just buy products, but people that I have done readings for and that I have helped and maybe done some work or something. The spirit said okay. Each one of those people has their own file in the file cabinet, and there's actually a folder for enemies in there as well. I got all my enemies' information when you know, and it goes in one file. So if anything pops up, I can just go in there and get that shit. I don't got to go searching for it again. How do I keep my ancestors from drinking so much? They drink a lot. Do I give them as much as they want? Absolutely, honey. Give them as much as they want. And also, I don't know if you know to pour libations on your floor as well. Mine vary. Sometimes they drink a lot. Sometimes they don't drink as much. But if they're drinking a lot, they're fucking thirsty. Put more. Okay, I don't know how many glasses or what you're offering, but if you maybe have like one glass of water for them or something, give them a couple more. Put a couple glasses up there for them so they don't all got to fight over that one. It won't go as fast. If you're talking about alcohol, see, on mine, sometimes they prefer different ones. So I got a couple, and I don't give them a whole lot. Because usually the alcohol, like, they're not drinking wine or some shit. They're drinking fucking hard shit. So they get like a shot glass. Usually like a shot glass a week, unless it goes bone dry. If it goes bone dry, I'll fill it up again. What are some alternative vessels for oil lamps instead of mason jars? How about fruit? I use fruit all the time to make lamps. You can use coconuts, oranges, watermelons, gourds, and the fruit also serves as an offering to the spirits too. So you kind of would want to, you know, whatever spirit you're working with, whatever work you're doing, you might want to make a lamp out of their favorite kind of fruit or something, and, you know, give that to them. And it's an offering to them, and it's also for them to get the work done. You know what I mean? Fruit's an excellent. I make fruit lamps all the time. Are you going to make and put money rice in your shop? It already is, honey. It's already in there. And it has good reviews. Check them out. Do you know how to work with spirits to better your talents? Like singing, art, and communication. Actually, I don't. The only thing I know about talents and spirits is the legend of the crossroads. Where, you know, like, holy fuck, what's his name? Robert Johnson. You know, you take your instrument or whatever you want to be good at, and I'm not advocating people do this. I'm just telling the story now. I'm not telling everybody to go out and do this shit, because crossroads ain't to be fucked with. So unless you know what you're doing, don't fuck at the crossroads. But the legend of Robert Johnson and artists and that kind of thing is, you know, you take your instrument, or if you're an artist, take your paints, canvas, pen, you know, whatever, to the crossroads. There's a ceremony. I'm not going to fucking say what it is, because then people's going to do it. To call the black man at the crossroads, and you make a deal with him to be better and famous at what you're doing. And I'm giving the story. If y'all are interested, look at, you know, want to do that shit, go look it up. But I'm not going to give it out, because I'm not advocating for people to go do that shit. Rum. They like a lot of rum. Mine do too. I buy it by the gallons, honey. Gallons of rum. Yes, they love rum. But my ancestors are a little different. They vary. They really love brandy. The ancestors. And it took me so long, y'all, with my ancestors to figure out what fucking alcohol they wanted. Like, I went through so many different kinds. And finally they was like, fucking brandy. I was like, oh, damn. They love the brandy. But once in a while, they'll mix it up. Sometimes they want a whiskey with honey in it or something like that. Sometimes they'll mix it up, but I always have brandy for them. They love it. But rum, everybody else. Well, except one. That one gets rum and like some other kinds of liquor too. What I usually do, so my ancestors don't fight over water or food, I pray a prayer that talks about when Jesus split bread to feed 1,000 people. That's awesome. That's really cool. No, like a shot or two, like a shot 2 or 3 times a day of rum. They like coffee, water, and juice, but mostly rum. Mine loves the coffee too. Pretty much every spirit likes coffee. I don't think I've ever heard of a spirit that didn't like coffee, except the one in Orisha traditions where they only get white things. If y'all probably, some of y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say the names. I'm not gonna go into that shit. But other than that guy, pretty much everybody loves coffee. Ancestors, everybody loves coffee, and everybody loves rum. 2 or 3 times a day. Well, some of mine could go through that. They do go through that in a day. Buy it by the gallons, honey. Aloha, Cece. Glad you could join me. Cece lives in Hawaii. Hey, girl, you near them damn volcanoes and shit? I wasn't even thinking about that. Confirm a lot of stuff for me that I already know. I think I underestimate myself most of the time. All of us do. All of us. Especially if you're here and you listen to me regularly and you're in the Vibe Tribe. Y'all, I'm sure, have connection to your spirits and connection to your ancestors. And you really need to trust yourself. And this is... as I minister to you, I'm ministering to myself. My spirits get on my ass a lot to be more confident and trust myself and, you know, have confidence in what I do and what I hear and what I know. I'm bad about that sometimes, you know, and they get on me. Like, girl, you know your shit. Be fucking confident, you know. But I question everything a lot, so I understand. I do understand. But yeah, it is true, you know, a lot of us already know. We have that connection with our spirit, and what we know, gut feeling, heart feeling, whatever you want to call it, is usually fucking right. Listen to that shit. I had something weird happen with my offerings. When I set up my altar, I put out bourbon, no problem. Switched to rum, no problem. Went back to bourbon, and it clouded overnight. Tried bourbon again, clouded. Back to rum, no problem. Sticking with rum. That's smart. that is a clear message that they would prefer the rum over the bourbon, obviously. So yeah, definitely smart. Got 27 watchers in here. Nobody's talking. What y'all doing? Did you use palms for every... Do you mean psalms? Because I actually do use palms. Do you mean palms or psalms? I'm assuming you're going to mean psalms. Do I use it for every working? I do no. I use it for specific types of things and specific types of spirits. Now, when I do greet a lot of my spirits, they have certain prayers that are said as a greeting. I do that daily, but when it comes to work, I do not include psalms in everything. I do it for some things. Oh yeah, Palais is constructing more land. It's beautiful. I hope you're not anywhere near there, honey. Psalms, yes. Good. That's what I thought you meant. Alright, y'all, start talking. 28 people. Who got the questions, or we just got a bunch of stalkers and lurkers on here seeing what Mama's up to? I get a lot of those. Sometimes I do magic on horseback and connect my energy to hers for work. Do you work with your living animals for work? That's really awesome. Like, really fucking awesome. I don't know. I wouldn't say I connect with my personal animals, like my pets, for work. I have used like their hair and their nails and stuff in certain kinds of work. And I do use animal parts. Let me just put it that way. Animal parts and pieces in things for the spirit and connection to that animal. But as far as personal pets go, no, not really. Sorry, I don't know if you answered my question, but the ants, I might have missed it. I didn't even see a question about ants. What was your question about ants? Ask it again. No, I'm in Maui, next island over, but we can see it from the east. Oh, I bet that's beautiful. That's so cool. Well, at least you're not in danger. That's awesome. Do you use words of power, prayers, every day to light your spirit workings, or just the first day? Or for only a certain amount of days? For work, I use, actually, if work is working, like, if it's a long-term thing, I work on it every day. Say prayers over it, put intent into it every day until it's finished. And as far as spirits go, they get prayers every day. I keep getting ants in my ancestors' water. I've tried putting poisons nearby, but they keep coming back. Any thoughts? Ants are ants. I don't really think that's a sign of anything. For some reason, I get flies in my cellar. Don't even ask me how the fuck they get in there, because the cellar door is closed and shit. So I don't know how the flies get in the cellar, but they get in there. And sometimes they get, in the water on my boveda and stuff. I hung up fly strips, which helps quite a bit, but I still get some in there. Bugs are bugs. Bugs are going to do what bugs do. Ants are, going to go to water. They're going to go to food. They're, all that kind of... I wouldn't say that's any kind of certain sign. Now, I did have someone come to me that had like a lizard. They did a candle work, like a 7-day jar, and when it was over, they went back to it like an hour later, and there was like a baby lizard curled up in the jar, in the candle jar that was empty. That was a sign, especially pertaining to the work she was doing. I have seen spiders get into candles and candle work, and I believe that's also a sign of something. But ants in the water or on the food, or bugs are bugs. They're gonna do what bugs do. You know what I mean? I did mean more from a practical side, not so much a sign. Yeah, bugs are bugs. So you want to know how to get rid of the ants, huh? If you find out, let me know. Damascus earth. You could try putting a line of that around the glasses. Hold on, I'll show you. I don't even know how to say it right. Diatomaceous earth. It's like a white powder. You can usually get it in garden centers and stuff like that. This is really good for repelling insects. You could put it on your dogs to repel fleas and ticks and stuff. They use it for flea powder and stuff, but this is just plain. It doesn't have any chemicals in it. You could try putting like a line of this around your glasses. Another trick that I learned actually in like grade school that works with ants, a ballpoint pen. There's a smell or some kind of chemical in ballpoint pens that mimics an ant pheromone. And you guys can test this out. It's really cool. If you see an ant, get a piece of paper, get a ballpoint pen, and draw a line on the piece of paper, and the ant will follow the line that you drew because of the chemicals in the pen is similar to ant hormones. So if you can't get the Damascus earth, you could probably try setting the glasses on a piece of paper and draw around the glass with a ballpoint pen. That might help deter them. Just throwing out some ideas. Prosperity altar, aside from your regular altar or one. No, I don't have a prosperity altar. The closest thing I have to that is a prosperity oil lamp, which there's a video on my channel that I did on how to make a prosperity oil lamp, and that's what I burn for prosperity. I don't have like a separate altar or space just for prosperity. All my shit's dedicated to spirits. And, I mean, the working altar kind of includes everybody. I heard that people in Hoodoo believe in the Christian belief that when people die, they stay on Earth till Judgment Day. Even though many don't believe this that much no more. Is this true? people in hoodoo, I mean, hoodoo is an ADR. It's an African diaspora tradition. It's not a religion, but coming from Africa, it would have the African beliefs mixed in with the Christian beliefs, because that's what it is. And Africans believe in ancestors. So hoodoo's a little mishmash of that, because they had to adopt the Christianity or pay the price. So you'll see that a lot in ADT and ATR type traditions. But hoodoo very much works with ancestors. Every hoodooist that I know works with ancestors, and doesn't really go along with that Christian theology on that. I'll look into it. Thanks for the suggestions. Practitioner worries, am I right? I got fly strips all over my house in the summer because I have so many fruit offerings. Like, flies constantly. Like, even if the fruit's not bad, they still come in because there's fucking fruit. Fly strips all over the damn place. Diatomaceous earth. Okay, that's how we say it. It's past my bedtime, so not so much talking. Well, girl, wake the fuck up. That's your bedtime. I hope you're on the East Coast, because it ain't even 10 o'clock here. Or you're in another country. Sorry, I think I missed your answer on the prosperity altar. You were buffering. Oh, shit. No, I do not have a prosperity altar. The closest thing I have is a prosperity oil lamp, which I've done a video on. It's on the channel on how to make a prosperity oil lamp. But I do not have a specific altar specifically for money or prosperity. If I need it, I'll do a work. If I need it, I go to my spirit and be like, yo, we need this. I made a pact with my spirits, because like I said before in another video, I opened the shop to supplement the spirits. Like, at least 85% of the sales from the shop go back to them. It buys their offerings and their candles and their rums and their cigars and their incense and all the shit that they need and want. So I made a deal with them. When they told me to open up shop, I was like, alright, this is a deal. We need a minimum, flatline minimum of $100 a week in sales. More would be great, but $100 a minimum. You bring me in $100 minimum in sales a week, and nobody goes without anything. Nobody wants for anything. And they have consistently kept that pact. So that's our deal. If I need more, I tell them I need more for something, Have you ever got upset, so upset while working, that you threw up? If so, do you think that that's your body's way of removing that bad energy? I have not literally thrown up from doing work. I have gotten nauseated. This is quite a story, y'all. Spirits, and many of y'all don't know this, and this is how you tell a lot. People that are just running their mouth and people that are real deal. Like I said earlier in the beginning of this video, it's work, and it's called work for a reason, because it takes a physical toll on you when you do this work. Spirits also have a physical effect on you when they're real and they do shit. I learned this the hard way. When you're working with real deal, powerful fucking shit's gonna happen to you physically, including vomiting. I know people that have vomited from working with certain spirits. I know workers that work in diapers because the spirit affects their body physically like that they can't even control their basic kind of, body functions like that. So when they are doing work and working with certain spirits, they wear diapers. And this is real workers, y'all. This is how you tell the real from the fake. As my godfather told me, and at the time, I thought he was speaking figuratively. But I learned different. He actually sat down and he was like, if half these workers on, social media, whatever, were actually working with the spirits they claim to be working with, he was like, if one of those spirits actually showed up, he's like, they'd shit their fucking pants. And at the time, I thought he was speaking figuratively. Y'all draw your own conclusions. Yes, this shit can have a physical effect and toll on you. It's just the way it is. So I hope that answers the question. Can you put some apple cider vinegar in a cup to catch flies as well? I'm thinking of the old saying that you get more flies with honey instead of vinegar. It's a saying as far it's regarding being nice to people. You get more friends and more everything by being nice than with vinegar. So that just rang to mind that you get more flies with honey than vinegar. So maybe that answers your question. Try some honey or some sugar water. Maybe, I don't know if vinegar would do it. Maybe for fruit flies. Maybe. Completely true. I get headaches and start to sweat just sitting there. Honey, I got hot spirits. My shit's hot. I don't know why I gotta be hot, but my shit's hot. Even my godfather, when I went, for my reading to get into the traditions and everything, he was like, God damn, why I always get the hot ones? My shit is hot. And apparently that runs in my house. Like almost all of us that I know of have hot spirits. So when I do work, I raise the temperature, and I'm not just saying, I fucking raise the temperature. When I do work, the temperature goes up a minimum of 10 fucking degrees in the house, and I will sit here and sweat my ass off and spontaneously fucking combust internally because it burns inside as well. Now I have a friend who's the opposite. He has cool spirits, and he drops the temperature when he works because he has cold spirits. I have hot spirits. My shit is hot. I did some work the other night. I raised the temperature so much that I was like dehydrating, and I sat here and drank like a whole half gallon of tea. Like I chugged it, and I was still like I was thirsting to fucking death. This shit's real, y'all. It takes a goddamn toll on your ass. And if people aren't experiencing it's the fucking truth. It's just all. It's what it is. It's the way it is. What can you do with the truth? It's the truth, A working, and my husband walked into the I was working in and said it smelled like electricity. I usually run my husband out when I work because it gets too hot and there's too much incense and smoke and like shit going on. Usually if I start working, he'll leave. He'll go to another room and hang out because it just gets way too thick. And the air gets thick when you got hot spirits. The shit gets thick, like hard to breathe. Like you could cut the fucking air with a pair of scissors. Like humidity, and it's some shit, y'all. It's some shit. And don't you go to a real worker, don't ask why their prices are what they are. Because this shit is some shit we gotta deal with to help people. You know what I mean? There's some shit. You gotta be compensated for that. I went to a music festival on the weekend and bought myself a cowrie shell ring. I had it smudged in the Aboriginal smudging ceremony they held there. What else would you recommend to dedicate it to? Girl, I want one. I'll tell you what. I'll show you. And it fell the fuck off, and I gotta glue it back on. I bought this bracelet. at an African store this weekend, and it had this huge ass cowrie shell in here, but I was opening my window and I reached in and it, like, the shell hit the window ledge and it popped off. I got to glue it back on. But as soon as I got this, I was like, I want a ring. I want a ring with a fucking cowrie shell in it. So now I'm jealous. I want a fucking ring to go with my bracelet with a fucking cowrie shell in it. But I'm going to answer your question. What else would you recommend to dedicate to it? You did it with an Aboriginal smudging ceremony. I mean, for basic shit, that would, I think a ceremony with Aborigines would, like, be enough. You can say, yeah, you can say it with, like, one of your spirits, though. Like, I have shit, like, all these rings are empowered by my spirits. When I get stuff like this, I give it to them. I give it to them for a set period of time, however much time they give me, and they keep it and they empower it, and then when the time's up, I get it back. That's usually what I do with my shit. I feel like I need to be careful. Is why I'm not. You got the bug in your ear? I gotta watch that too, believe me. Believe me. Nothing this Chronicles is saying. Y'all ain't talking. We all got that bug in the ear, right? I am going to call it a night, everyone. Take care. Catch you later, Denise the Wandering Artist. How would you dry chicken feet, and how would you use them? I've actually done chicken feet. What I do with mine is usually I pack them in salt for a week, 2 weeks. I'll pack them in salt, and then after that, I'll put them on like a cookie tray, and you bake them on really fucking low. Now, like as low as it'll go heat. And you gotta be careful with the timing. It takes trial and error to get it perfect, because you can overcook them and then they become brittle and they just kind of shatter and break if you take too much out. If you cook them too long in the oven. But that's the way I do them. And what are they used for? They can be used for many things. They can be used for protection. I keep one in my car for protection, like hanging on the rearview mirror. They can also be used for hexing works, and reversing works, especially because if you think about chicken and their feet, what do chicken do with their feet? They scratch. They scratch the ground with their feet. And how do they scratch the ground with their feet? Backwards. Chickens always scratch backwards. So chicken feet are very good for reversing works, and they're also good for hexing. You can use that foot to scratch, and I'm not giving out too much here, but you can use it for those kind of works. You need cowrie shells. I will send you plenty. I don't need cowrie shells. I just want a cowrie shell ring. Like a nice one. Like my bracelet was. Thanks. I will set it on my altar. Yeah, just give it to them. Give it to your ancestors. Give it to whoever you got. And just be like, yo, power this shit up for me. When can I have it back? See you later, Denise. My ears ring. I know it's my spirits talking to me, but I can't understand them. It's like they're all talking at once. I only understand them when I'm between the sleep and wake state. I sleep them when they are around, and I can feel them. My ears ring pretty much constantly. And see, here's the thing. That's also another indicator. It's an indicator of spirits. Let me just put it that way. Your ears ringing is an indicator of spirits. But it doesn't have to be a certain kind of spirit. It can be any kind of spirit. So if someone is throwing at you, let's say, your ears ringing could be an indicator on that as well, that work is being thrown. or that there's negative spirits present. It's an indicator of spirits when your ears are ringing. A lot. Mine do it all the time. Can do, sister. You're gonna make me a ring with a cowrie shell? I would love that. And it don't have to be, honestly, if you're gonna do that shit for me, it ain't gotta be no fancy shit. It don't gotta be like sterling and shit. Like steel, stainless steel will be fine. Something that, ain't gonna turn my fingers green. I'd be cool with it. That bracelet I got that had the shell on, I think it's stainless steel. It's not silver, so I'm cool with that. This one's stainless steel. These are both silver, but this is stainless. As long as they're not gonna turn my shit green, I'm good. The views are dropping. Anybody else got any more questions? I got 11% battery left. Get the questions in. Do you use gardening for work? Not just the herbs, but the act itself. Gardening is excellent for grounding. I don't know about work per se, as far as gardening, but it's excellent to get your hands in the dirt and get your knees in the ground and do gardening like that. It's great for your body. It's great for your spirit. It grounds you. I love gardening. I love it. And it like everything else, it's hard fucking work. Ain't nothing motherfucking easy around here. I put crystals in the garden. I have crystals, certain kinds, not in the garden, but, like buried in the yard and by the door and stuff. Do you know anything about the magic of Prussia? I absolutely do not, honey. Prussia. I don't even know where Prussia is. I think that's in like Turkey or near Turkey or something. I don't know anything about that. Nope. That's the only way. No green skin. I have a few made. But I will make you a fresh shell. Oh, I would love that. Thank you, girl. That's awesome. I want one so bad. You know what? And you know where I got that from? Does everybody know Ancestor Bruja Luis on YouTube? I love him. He's excellent. If y'all don't know him or haven't seen his channel, go fucking check it out. He's great. He's a good guy. But he actually has a cowrie shell ring that he has empowered and stuff. And he did a whole video about it. And I was like, damn, I want a fucking cowrie shell ring. I think his was custom made. So when I found the bracelet, I was like, ooh, now I gotta, all I need is the ring. Prussia was once Germany and Poland. Well, if it once German, then that would go along the lines of type traditions, because that is a German, I mean, it's an American German tradition, but a lot of it came straight, from the immigrants. Is where the shit come from. I've never actually traced the power back to the homeland. Like, I haven't physically done it, but I know that's where it comes from. And I know the immigrants brought it with them, most of it, and they brought it with them. And they tweaked it differently for this land, because different lands have different trees and plants and herbs and things, and so it gets tweaked, but a lot of the elements, still pretty much stay the same. Yes, he's great. He is awesome. That's good to know. I have had a doctor check me and my hearing, no problem. So it's not that. But I do hear ringing almost constantly. I know I have a lot of jealousy around me, so you are right. Yeah, it's a bitch too. I have to sleep with like a sound machine. Like, it plays like a river run when I go to sleep, because my ears. I never had the ear ringing until I had some major fucking shit put on me a couple years ago. Ears have never stopped ringing ever since. That's not true. They stopped ringing once. After my second ceremony, I was shocked when I got back to my hotel room and sat there and I realized that my ears weren't ringing because they've been ringing for years. And I was like, oh my fucking God, my ears are not ringing. I couldn't believe it. But the next day it started up again, so. This is random, but I love to watch fire flames dance. Yes, I love it too. Having hot spirits and being a hot, worker and being hot myself, I love fire, big time, but I have to be really fucking careful around it. I was warned about that. But I was told by my godfather, initially the first time, he was like, you're fire shit. He's like, you should be able to do pyromancy. You should be able to do fire divination. You should try it. You'd be really good at it. Or I should be really good at it, is actually what he said. And, not so much. I mean, I love watching it. I love making it. I love everything about fire, but, I've attempted the pyromancy, but I'm not really having much luck. We love Brujo Luis. Yes, he is awesome. You got me. Thank you, Cece. Oh, that's awesome. I love you guys. A lot of people send me random gifts. It's crazy. I love this ring. Mine isn't that impressive. Yeah, his is like incredible. Like, I'm so jelly. I want his ring. What's a good way to talk to your ancestors? I usually do a yes or no type divination, but it's not that effective. I mean, my actual divination with my personal ancestors is a pendulum with yes and no. Yes, no, maybe. For more than that, sit and listen. Sit at your ancestor altar, speak to them, shut up, say what you want to say, and shut the fuck up, and listen. And that's where a lot of your communication is going to come from. With the ancestors, I use a pendulum. I use yes and no, maybe type stuff. I do have 2 other divination systems, but I don't use that. I mean, my personal ancestors are involved a little bit with the one system, but I still use the pendulum mainly for personal contact with them. Isn't that a trip when you suddenly realized your ears stopped ringing? Yes! I was like, oh my God, they're not ringing. I was so excited. And it was so crazy because I was so used to it, because they've been doing it so long. It was a trip. Salamanders live in fire. I mean, I know there's fire salamanders, but I don't think they actually live in fire. See, now I'm a salamander hunter, girl. I grew up on the mountain, on the Appalachian Trail. I had a gift for finding salamanders when I was a little kid. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I just knew if I lifted a log or this rock or whatever, that I would find some salamanders, and I always fucking found them. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it was, I never figured it out, but I have like this knack for finding fucking salamanders, and as far as I'm aware, they live under rocks and like logs and stuff. I've never found any in a fire. Oh, we love you. You guys are awesome. I do a 3-card. My battery is going low, y'all. We're going to cut it soon, 7%. I do a 3-card tarot reading, just asking what I need to know. Take the top card off each cut pile. Works for me. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I've also used runes. Rune stones, which you can do questions with that. Those are pretty much, that's all my spirits, though, that communicate with the runes, not just ancestors. I mean, ancestors would be included in that, but it's not just them. That's like everybody, pretty much. Salamanders represent the element of fire. Okay, that's why I heard fire salamander. Yeah. Okay, but they don't actually live in live in fire, right? Elemental salamanders, not physical. Awesome. Well, I could find a physical fucking salamanders like a motherfucker. I don't know why, I don't know how. But I spent all my childhood in the woods. And I could just be walking along and be like, there's salamanders under that rock. And I go lift it and there's fucking salamanders under the rock. Like, salamanders, I don't know. I could find the fuck out of them. Are certain spirits more attracted to certain people? My mom is always getting fucked with. Absolutely. Yeah. And there are people that are more attractive to spirits than others, like myself. So yeah, that's definitely yes to that question. That brings up a good question. Do the 4 Paracelsian elements play a role in your work? So we're talking earth, air, fire, water. Yes, I highly work with nature. But I work with those elements on a personal level. I can't say too much. I'm being yelled at. Yes. Those elements are part of nature, and what I do is extremely highly nature based. And I'm being told that's all I can say. I just got yelled at. So I hope that answered the question. When I communicate with my ancestors, I speak to them like I would to anyone else and wait for signs throughout my day. I know it sounds weird, but they don't seem to like the pendulum. Well, some don't. I mean, mine are cool with it. Everybody's spirits are different. What works for me might not work for you. As always, everybody's spirits and shit's gonna be a little different. Might not have a problem with the pendulum. You just don't like the pendulum, find another way, or like you say, talk and listen. There was something else I wanted to say there. You speak to them like you would anybody else. Exactly, and that's a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to ancestors, especially. Talk to them like they're right fucking there. You don't gotta be all formal and with all these prayers and chants and like all this crap with your ancestors. Talk to them like you're sitting at the fucking kitchen table having coffee with grandma. And she's right there. And she's sitting there because she is. You talk to them like they're right fucking there. And you're just having normal fucking conversation with them. It's that simple, y'all. People usually don't, I don't know. They think, I don't know. I don't know what they think, but they don't think that. Can you talk about working with wasp nest, paper, mud dauber, etc.? What is that noise going on in there? Or bone readings? My battery's dying, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover all this. 5%. Okay, wasp nest, paper, and mud dauber pretty much do the same thing. All 3 of those things pretty much do the same thing, and they're basically for hexery. Enemy kind of cursing hexery kind of work, and I'm being told not to say too much about it. But they're basically along the same lines, and that's basically what they're used for. On another hand, you could also use them for protection. I'm just saying that. Somebody ain't going to walk in your door if there's a wasp nest in it. You know what I mean? They're going to run away. So, you can also use them for protection, but be careful. That's all I want to say. Bone readings. I actually don't do bone readings. I know a little bit about them. There's actually an entire group on Facebook dedicated to bone readings, and I'm in that group because I'm friends with a lot of people that do bone readings. I don't remember the name of the damn group. It's something bone readings on Facebook, but they put in a lot of good information in that group, and everybody's really nice. There's no arguments that I've seen. Everybody's intelligent and has good advice, and so look for the bone reading group on Facebook. They could tell you more than I can. During pagan Wiccan rituals. They are called quarters. Yeah, you call the 4 quarters, right? That's funny, quarters. I always thought they were called corners. I thought you called the 4 corners, not quarters. Okay, I learned something. Salamanders are fire elements. I use playing cards with aces, hearts, strong. Yeah, a lot of people are going back to the old school playing cards. And I'll tell you what, y'all, those were the original fucking tarot. Like, tarot's not that fucking old. People use playing cards for divination old school, y'all. And there's a couple people bringing that tradition back. I've seen a couple, like Professor Porterfield, and there's a couple others that are bringing back that old school playing card work and divination, and I think that's awesome. I don't, personally haven't gotten into that myself, but I think that's really awesome. I trap bad juju in paper wasps' nests. Have one by my door now. Right? Protection. I love coffee time. Memo? Some my people won't leave me alone until I say their novena of choice. That happens. Abso-fucking-lutely. You'll get it stuck in your head. You'll get an earworm. And you'll hear it and hear it and hear it until you go say it and do it. I know. Cece likes using playing cards. Yeah. See, I don't work with any cards. I don't work with tarot cards. I don't work with playing cards. I have other systems. But I'm not saying I might not, look into doing playing cards in the future. But at this point in time, I don't. Hello, I have the concept. I love the concept of cartomancy. I haven't learned it yet. I love that you're bringing it up. Old school is the best school. Abso-fucking-lutely. If you guys are interested in cartomancy, I would highly recommend checking out Professor Porterfield. He is like a Jewish Kabbalist, and he does all his work and divination with playing cards, and it's really interesting. I follow him a lot. I want to make a potty time cut the shit tarot set for the restroom. I want to make a potty time cut the shit tarot set for the restroom. I think that's a joke. Is that a joke? My battery's dying, y'all, so we are going to cut it. 3%. I would love to start using playing cards. Is that a guy on a wagon tattoo on your arm? Oh, this one? It is, actually. This whole sleeve is artwork by an artist named Roman Dirge. He made the Lenore comic books. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. But, not only does he do comic books, he's a tattoo artist, and he's an awesome artist. And this is actually his self-portrait. Because this is all his work on his arm. So I put him on the top, because this is all him. This is his self-portrait. And it's kind of like a wonky... I can't get the angle right so y'all can see it. It's like him, and he's driving a wagon, and there's a vulture, and it's like kind of like a steampunk with the gears and the wheels, and it has these little tiny feet that it walks on. It's his art. His whole arm is dedicated to him. I love him. Yes, it was a joke. Okay, it went over my head, but I was pretty sure it was a joke. Good night, Veronica. Yes, we're going to cut this short. Momo needs a bathroom break as fucking well, which is why I was like, does she know I gotta go to the bathroom? I'm holding it or what? Thank you for another great live. Hope you have a great night. Until next time. Love you. Good night. I love you too, Tukawaka girl. You fucking rock. I'm still drying out some of that shit that you gave me that was alive. The live stuff you sent me. I got it. Oh, I wanted to do this before it's over. On the last video, drying herbs, y'all. If y'all are growing herbs or picking shit, from nature and bringing it in, you want to dry it. Okay, so there's like the old school way of bundling it. You make a bundle and you tie a string around it and you hang it. I do that too. But for stuff that you can't really bundle and hang, you know what I use? those sweater dryer hangers. I have like a 3-tier one. That you're supposed to put 3 sweaters on. They're like mesh and they're square or round, and you hang it from the ceiling. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but look up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Called sweater dryers. And I use that for my herbs that I can't bundle up to dry, like chamomile, and shit like that. Just hang that from the ceiling, and it's like a mesh, netting, and just throw your herbs in there, and they get the circulation from the air, you know, up and down, and they work perfect. I have a big one hanging out here with like all my shit. But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that on the last live, and I totally, like, it slipped my mind, and I forgot to talk about it. Okay, guys, we are cutting it 2%. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Visit the shop, primitiverootsconjure.com. Follow me on Facebook at Primitive Roots Appalachian Conjure. And follow me on Instagram at primitive_roots_conjure. We'll be back next Sunday. If y'all have questions during the week, y'all write them down. Keep a list so you got something to come with me. Come every Sunday so you got your shit and you don't forget. It doesn't slip your mind like it does me. So thanks everybody for joining me. The questions were wonderful. I hope everybody learned. I hope I did. Like, subscribe, and share, guys. Good night.